All right, what's going on, boys? Welcome. We are live. Sunday NASCAR betting show like Coop and I do all the time for Run Pure Bets. We did not do it last week because it was a shit show. It was the All-Star race. The format was crazy, and it was really convoluted and hard to figure out who was going to win. Hopefully, you guys did well there. The live show got on. Who won? Ryan Blaney.
Ryan Blaney, man. Come on.
7.5 to 1. We got him there. Yesterday we put a couple free plays out on social media, and I threw them on the sheet. Josh Berry or Sam Mayer to win the race. Coop and I really like Junior Motorsports. We got that home yesterday for the people at 9 to 1, and we try to do it again. Coop, marathon, longest race of the year, Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Coca-Cola 600. What say you?
Not much, man. I mean, like I said on the DFF show, this is a hard race to handicap, predict, get a race flow going, whatever you want to call it. 600 miles, 400 laps, longest race of the year. The cars yesterday ran a limited amount of practice. Very few went more than 5 laps. Some went 10 laps. Nobody went 15 laps. And then, we have the tire issue to worry about. So, a lot to go on, a lot to think about, but, it's a hard race to handicap.
Yes, it is. All right. So, for those that have the KegCast package, Friday night, Coop came on to hang out with us, and we were watching the trucks races. And him and I really started to dig in to this race. And then after the show was over, we stayed on for about another 90 minutes talking about the race. And everything that you and I said on that show was basically spot on. We loved Denny Hamlin. We liked Kurt Busch a ton, Chris Bell a ton, Ryan Blaney, and obviously we knew Kyle Busch was going to be strong. What we did not figure on was Martin Truex Jr. laying down the fastest laps in practice. Has not been good on mile and a half. He hasn't had speed really all year. He hasn't been very impressive all year. But he was fast in practice. We thought he should have been 25 to 1 instead of 10 to 1. But now, after practice, he shoots up to co-lead your odds-on favorite with Kyle Busch at 6.5 to 1. So what do you think, Coop? Basically, everything we thought we would see, with the exception of Martin Truex in practice. What do you think about him?
He's best finish this year is 4th. He's led 6 races. He led 80 laps in one race. The other 5 races, he's combined only 50 laps. So I'm not worried about Marty. I think he could run well and finish 4th, 5th, or 6th. He hasn't had top line speed all year. I don't know what's going to make him find it this week all of a sudden.
I agree. I think he will naturally just fall in the field throughout the course of the day, in my opinion, because he hasn't kept it up for an entire race, really at any point this year. Hendrick Motorsports crushes at this track. Chase Elliott average finish of 2 in his last 5 races here. Larson won last year. Hendrick ran 1-2-4-5, I think. Absolutely dominated. He led about 350 laps in that race. So for me, I think the big decision in terms of betting today is what do you do with Hendrick as opposed to the Toyotas? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I'm coming more onto Hendrick Motorsports as the day progresses. I think that they're going to do fine. Their speeds weren't very far off of what Gibbs was, and the sample out there is extremely small. I mean, Denny Hamlin hasn't won this race for a reason. He just, doesn't run well here for whatever reason. He's running solid, but nothing great. And then Kyle Busch has been extremely, extremely good. And then, Busch, his brother, and Chris Bell, they're kind of wild cards. Who knows what's going to happen? But I think Byron, Bowman, and Larson are the three that I'm really sold on from Hendrick Motorsports. Chase Elliott, I'm not. I know he has the history, but if you look at mile-and-a-half tracks this year, he hasn't had the top-line speed. He's had more of a 5th to 8th place finish type of speed. So, I could see him doing somewhat of like Martin Truex possibly, just ride around, get a good finish, and call it a day. But, I could be wrong. But I do think it's down to Hendrick and Gibbs for the win, unless we see a lot of chaos, which we could.
I agree with you, Coop. I kind of like if I was rating the 4 Hendrick drivers, I think I would rate it probably Larson, Bowman, and Byron are really, really close. And then Chase would probably be last for me in this race. Is that how would you have him last too?
Yeah, I'd have him last, and I would put Larson 1A, Byron 1B, and then Bowman 3rd.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's been my biggest factor in determining. Are they just?
I did. The other night when we were talking, one of my concerns with Hendrick Motorsports is they've wrecked a lot of cars here recently. And I actually found a tweet yesterday, which makes me feel better, where Rudy Fugel, who's William Byron's crew chief,
right,
was telling him at Kansas, hey, I normally wouldn't tell you this, but you might need to race conservatively tonight because, we're a little short on cars. And, he said since then in the tweet that they're in a much better spot. So that makes me feel better about Hendrick.
Yeah. All right, so I guess let's dig. You had asked me to take screenshots of the odds, right? And I did. They're very different than the odds we see on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, very different. Like Truex. What makes him be a 6.5 favorite? What made him be a 10-point favorite when he was at the beginning of the week?
I thought you and I accurately priced him out at around 20-25 to 1 probably is where he should be at this point in the year. I don't know why he was 10 to 1 beforehand. And I understand why they moved him, but even a $3.50 move off 10 laps, when, if we're being honest, you need 35 to 45 laps on a long run to really know what you have at Charlotte. I mean, 10 laps is nothing. And 15 guys didn't even run 10 laps. They only ran 5. Larson, he dinged the wall, which means nothing because his car was just as fast dinging the wall. I'm not even worried about that. They'll fix that car up. But he was very fast, and so was Bowman and Byron at those consecutive lap average times. And then you saw Ryan Blaney, and nowhere in those practice numbers is his name really anywhere near the top. But it looked like the longer the run got, he was creeping up there. I think he'll be good. I expect him to be very good today. I expect Ross Chastain to be very good today. I expect Kurt Busch to be very good today. All the cars that usually have the speed should have the speed. And the wild card is Gibbs right now better than Hendrick Motorsports? And if they are, will that be enough to beat Larson and Byron and Bowman? But
I know we talked the other night, Hamlin and Bell were our values. I think my values right now pre-race is Byron and Chastain.
Byron at 12-1. Chastain's 15-1 on DK. Yeah, because when we were talking, we thought that Chris Bell at 25-1 should be more like 18-1. Now he's 15-1, right? Who else? Kurt Busch was 18-1. We thought he should be more like 16-1. He still is 16-1 though right now.
Yeah. No.
There's value in that number for sure.
Yeah.
Chastain's been fast all year. I mean, at 15-1, yeah, he's been solid a mile and a half. So there's value in that number, definitely.
So the other thing we were talking about is like, when do we start pulling triggers? Because there's going to be changes in this race. It's a long race. You go from the sunlight to dark. The temperatures go from hot to cool. The cars are going to change typically. Who does well, who doesn't, who does bad, who comes on. So, like at what point do we start laying bets, man? And then, we've got the whole tire issue.
See, like I could tell you what we've done in the past. It's been like the last 4 years, probably about the halfway point is when I started to look to live bet, because the track is going to change dramatically, right? Obviously, the sun's going to be beating on it all day. Whoever normally is ahead of the changes going into the night runs really well at the late portion of that race. So, like, used to be the halfway point, you would see, all right, it's nighttime, and you could start to see the players. But now books are moving lines way faster than they did the last even 2 years ago. So I don't know. I'll tell you what, though, I want to be right. I'm not going to just bet people because the number's good, because this race is so long that you won't even blink and you'll be 5 drivers in, because it's 600 miles. So I'm probably going to be conservative until we get into the meat of the race and we know the track has changed, and whatever the odds are, they are. It's probably how we treat it.
You're not going to say, Hamlin goes out, leads the first 125 laps of the first 150. He's down to 5-1. You're not going to worry about it? Not going to bet it?
Well, listen, I'm not saying maybe it's not worth getting on somebody pre-race, but here's the thing. 125 laps into this race specifically means a lot less than it does normally, because you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm going to probably not worry about it. Yeah.
I mean, I think my best case scenario is that Hamlin and Busch do well at the beginning, and the Larson number stays at 7-8. Because I like Kyle Larson.
I like Kyle Larson too. I think he can win.
I mean, I DM'd you yesterday. I said, so what were your thoughts after the Xfinity race? And like the first thing that came to my mind was, man, they're riding that high line. And like that speaks Larson, that speaks Reddick.
They were riding the high line higher than normal for sure.
Right.
For sure.
Now, does that carry over? I don't know. We'll
have
to see.
I'll tell you what I am going to do, because I haven't watched it in a while. I want to see. Kyle Larson dominated this race last year. I'm going to go back and watch the race recap, that like half an hour short version of the race.
Yeah.
I want to see if he was riding, like, did he find that last year? Is that why he led 350 laps? Because he was riding the wall and everybody else wasn't? I don't know. Mm-hmm. I want to see, because if he was riding the wall, then you know what he's going to be doing tonight, right? And so I don't know, but yeah, I agree with you. I think he's your single biggest worry, and I think Ryan Blaney's going to be very good here throughout the course of the night. By the time it gets to be when the chips are down and you need to be good, if he's still there, I think he's going to be good. So I think that Kyle Larson, Will Byron, Ryan Blaney, and maybe Ross Chastain are those 4 cars outside of Gibbs and Kurt Busch that I think have a very, very good chance to win this race. Kyle Larson could definitely dominate. They ran 1, 2, 4, 5 last year. It could be a Hendrick night again for sure.
Yeah, see that.
This is their track.
I want to watch Reddick and see if he goes to the high line and how that plays out, because that plays into his hands a lot. And then I'm not as high on Blaney as you are. I could be wrong, but I think there's more tire wear here than what they've had in the past, and he's not good at that aspect of the race car driver.
You could be right. I just think that he.
I don't know. We'll see.
One of the best cars all year, and he should continue to be one of the best cars tonight. That's the only thing that I'm basing that off of. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Are you going to bet? I don't know if I'm going to bet anybody pre-race outright market. Are you going to take a shot on anybody?
No, I'm not.
And hope you're right.
I'm not.
Yeah, I mean,
because I think, and again, I could be wrong, but it's going to be hot. It's going to be slick at the beginning of the race, and I think we're going to see issues. And I just want to see how all this plays out.
Yeah, you could wait a lot longer, I think, than normal. The books, if the books are going to be slow at moving lines, this is going to be the race, and restrictor and super speedways. Those are the so. All right, let's dive into the markets. Anybody top 5 or top 10 that you saw that you liked and thought was worth a bet?
I mean, top 10's just pointless. Top 5, I can't do anything pre-race. Like, I don't mind the 225 on Reddick, but I don't know if it's going to play off or not.
Right.
How the race is going to go. I mean, even 225 at Kurt Busch, I probably would say is should be a little lower, I would think.
You have Tyler Reddick, top 5 is 225
on MGM.
Wow, he's plus 150 at DK. I'm looking on DK right now just to go off of these. Yeah,
what's Busch? Kurt Busch.
Kurt plus 200.
Yeah. No, there's nobody that interests me top 5, top 10.
Yeah, it sucks that they priced us out of this market. But yeah, it's really hard to bet top 10s now.
I mean, I think Bubba Wallace, Kevin Harvick, Austin Dillon could all top 10, but I want more than $140 for them.
Yeah, sure. All right, so winning manufacturer, Chevy's plus 120. Toyota's plus 135, Ford plus 380. Toyota was 2 to 1 they were Friday night.
Yeah, 195 when we were talking Friday night.
Yeah. If you were going to bet them, that was the time.
Yeah.
There's no value there. Top Chevy, Kyle Larson 2.5 to 1, Elliott 4 to 1. Byron 4.5 to 1, Reddick 4.5 to 1, Bowman 5, Chastain 7, Suarez 14. Anybody there that you like?
I mean, if I were going to bet it, I'd take my shot on Chastain because that's a good number for a guy who's done, good on these 1.5-mile tracks this year. But I can't do that because I think Kyle Larson's going to be good too. Byron's going to be good.
So no change.
It's just a lot of competition.
We basically said the same exact thing on the Friday night show. No change. Yeah. Top 4, Ryan Blaney is $1.25. Wow. That is so low.
It's ridiculous.
My God, man. Listen, he's been the best Ford this year, no doubt. Chase Briscoe was good early on in the year, but as the year has gone, Blaney is by far the best Ford out there every week. But you can't bet it at that number, and there's nobody I would even want to take a shot on to beat him. I don't think. Is there anybody you would want to take a shot on to beat him?
So let's say we know Ryan Blaney's going to wreck on lap 5. All right. Who would you bet if we knew Ryan Blaney was going to wreck on lap 5?
Probably Logano or Harvick. Who would you bet?
Like, if I knew that, I would probably take my shot on Harvick, Kozlowski, and Buescher.
Yeah, they're all huge prices.
Yeah. But I don't know that, so.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Top Toyota, Denny was 3.5 to 1. And Kurt was 5.5 to 1. Bell was 8 to 1 going into practice. And Kyle Busch was like plus 1.25. Now it's a lot more even. Busch 2 to 1, Truex 2 to 1, Denny 2.5 to 1, Kurt Busch 4 to 1, Bell 5.5 to 1. If I was going to bet this, and then Bubba at 18 to 1, I would probably shoot my shot on Kurt Busch or Chris Bell, but the problem is Kyle Busch or Denny Hamlin could easily finish the top Toyota. So it's hard. It's a hard bet to make.
Yeah, if I was going to bet this, I would bet Bell, Kurt Busch, and Bubba.
Right. Yeah, right.
But I know we were talking about it the other night. I'm glad we stayed away from it. But it's just wide open because they're all good cars.
Oh, yeah. For everybody, I totally forgot this. JJ made me remember. We're going to be live tonight on Run Pure Bets YouTube for this race. The Kegcast is not going to be for subscribers. It's going to be a public show. So come and hang out, win some money, and then come be a member for $40 a month. Also, use the promo code BETS25 off. It'll get you 25% off the first week or month on the bet side. Obviously, JJ and Joey killing it with MLB. Tyler and Spread are in the final stretch of the NBA playoffs, but still a little bit more to go. And then obviously UFC, NASCAR with me. And then football is right around the corner. So obviously everybody check that out. The weekly specials on the DraftKings tab. Some of these could definitely happen, man. Like, first of all, what any Hendrick Motorsports car to win at plus 150 is kind of an interesting way to approach Hendrick tonight. Like, maybe you just like that's your one pre-race bet where you're like, you know what, let me take it. I got 4 cars that could all probably win the race. I maybe I don't mind that. But then same thing goes for Gibbs. Any Joe Gibbs car to win, also plus 150. And then Penske, that's where it really falls off. It's 4.5 to 1. Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin to finish in the top 5, plus 275. Could happen. Not enough value though for it. Kyle Busch and Martin Truex Jr. to both finish in the top 5. Same thing. Could happen, and I want to be nowhere near Martin Truex Jr. tonight at all. Kyle Busch to be the top Toyota, Elliott to be the top Chevy at 14 to 1. That's interesting. I mean, it could happen, but I'm probably not betting that. Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott to both finish in the top 5. Could happen, plus 330, not a ton of value. Kyle Larson, Will Byron to finish in the top 5. I think more likely. at a better number, plus 425. Kyle Larson to be top Chevy, Ryan Blaney top Ford. That's 6-1, Coop. That's low, man, but it's probably going to happen tonight.
It could.
Chastain to be top Chevy, Marty to be top Toyota, 22-1. I can't back Marty tonight in any way, I think. That's the problem.
Nope.
Blaney and Chastain finish in the top 5, 6-1. That could happen. Also could not happen. Kyle Busch or Kyle Larson to win the Coca-Cola 600, 3-1. That's low, man. That's really, really, really low. When you could just bet them right now at 6.5-1, bet them both.
Right.
And you'll make 5.5 units. This is what these fucking books, man. They just throw these fish lines out.
Yep.
All right, stage props. Anybody, do you think, I mean, first of all, how long is stage 1? What is it, 100
laps?
100, 100, 200?
100, 100, 100, 100, 100.
Wait, what?
There's 4 stages. All of them are 100.
Oh, okay. Okay. Why didn't they just make it 100, 100, 200? Like normal.
Because they wanted to add a 4th stage. I don't know.
Fucking NASCAR. All right, what do you think about stage 1? I mean, who the hell knows who is going to be leading this race 100 laps in? Yeah, like even those 4 Toyotas at the top. I mean, there's no guarantee they're going to be there 100 laps in.
No. Like if I'm taking a shot, I'm throwing a William Byron plus 1,000.
What do you think? It takes 30 laps for Kyle Larson to slice through the back half of the field to hit the top 20?
Maybe a little bit longer. But yeah, thereabouts.
Yeah. Stage 2 winner, who knows? I don't know.
Right.
I mean, who knows? So I don't know. I mean, we've had a lot of success betting 3 of these guys and winning. Right. We won 4 weeks in a row, but I don't know. I don't feel good about it today.
Right, because I mean, those 4 Toyotas at the top are all equal for the most part. Byron's not far behind them. They're going to have at least 1 pit stop, if not 2, in the first stage, depending upon how things play out. So there's a lot of things that could, change up.
See, you say you would probably take Byron at 10-1. You know who I would probably take? Kurt Busch at 10-1. So maybe I'll throw a little tiny bit of money on Will Byron and Kurt Busch at 10-1 for a fun bet to sweat out on the show. All right, what else, Coop? You see anything else?
Yeah, I'm not big on head versus heads, but I think that's where I'm headed this week.
Wait a minute. Oh, you're saying head to head?
Yeah.
Mr. I don't lay money?
Yeah, I'm not big on them, but I think that's where I'm headed.
That's a 30-second timeout for Coop. Breaks my balls to no end when I lay anything in NASCAR. And this guy, very next week, comes right at me with I'm betting head-to-head matchups. I mean, you got a set on you, bro. I'll tell you that. You got a fucking set on you.
It just so happens to be those are the ones I like this week.
All right, let me hear it, big boy.
Well, let me hear. I want to hear which ones you like first.
I like Denny.
If any.
I like Denny minus 105 against Marty. I'll take that all fucking day. Bowman and Reddick, I think, is a tough one. I would probably lean Bowman in the matchup, but I don't think I would like it enough to bet it. Ryan Blaney is minus 140. Kurt Busch. Yeah, so give me Kurt Busch at plus 120. Bubba plus 105 against Daniel Suarez. I'll tell you, they're pretty even cars, but the price point would make me lean towards Bubba at plus 105 against Suarez. But am I putting my money on Bubba Wallace? No, I am not. Will Byron minus 105 against Ryan Blaney. I think that's a tough one to call. I think they're both going to be really good. I would probably avoid that one. Ricky Stenhouse, Austin Dillon. I want no part of Ricky Stenhouse ever. Martin Truex Jr., Ross Chastain. Yeah, give me Ross at plus 115. That's a fucking no-brainer. Kyle Larson minus 120. Chase Elliott at even money. I would probably stay away from that. Kyle Busch minus 130. Chase Elliott plus 110. I would stay away from that. Kurt Busch minus 135. Joey. I just don't like Joey Logano enough to bet him against that car, even at plus 115. Marty minus 125. Chase Elliott even money. Yeah, give me Elliott at even money, probably 100%. Kyle Busch versus Kyle Larson. That's a pass because I think it's going to be really close. But yeah, so I guess I'm betting like 4 or 5 matchups I just said. Who do you like?
I like Denny over Truex.
Yep.
I don't mind Byron over Blaney. I'm more on Byron than what you are, and you're more on Blaney than what I am. So, I can see that. Chase Elliott over Martin Truex.
Kurt Busch over
Ryan Blaney.
Yep.
Ross Chastain over Martin Truex.
That's like just a total fucking no-brainer. Yeah, so what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4 matchups?
Yeah, those are the 4, and I thought you could parlay these, but evidently not.
No.
We parlayed them a couple weeks ago.
I don't think we did, Coop. Did we?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'll tell you what. I'm putting those matchups on the sheet. How else?
Those are the 4 I like. You sat here and busted my butt. All right, and now they're your 4 favorite bets.
Well, I mean, I'm the one that doesn't have a problem betting head-to-heads. You're the fucking guy that breaks my balls to no end about it.
But now you see why I went toward it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, those plus money spots with better cars, that just seems like a no-brainer. And then Denny at minus 105. I mean, unless Marty shoves it right up our ass today, Coop, and it has nuts, I just don't see it, though.
And to be honest with you, the reason I really do like the head-to-heads this week, I like the matchups, but it's really about the numbers because, we can still get 1 or 2 of them wrong and still make money because they're plus numbers, and even the one at Denny Hamlin's minus 105 is basically even money. Right. So, that's why I really like it, and I don't mind this week.
I like them. We identified the same spots, so anytime that happens, I feel like we're in a really good place. All right.
I think on nope, never mind. Well, no, never mind. Well, I thought on MGM you could get one of them better, but you can't.
What about, did you take a look at BetMGM and FanDuel matchups? Did you see any on there specifically that you like?
Yeah, I mean, MGM hasn't had any head-to-heads other than the featured matchups for a couple weeks, and they haven't had groups at all, at least for me. So, I guess they've just, given up on it. So, no. And then real quick, let me check FanDuel because go back to the head-to-heads.
While you're doing
you can get Chastain plus 114 over Truex. But that's the only one that we liked.
Right.
Now, from a group perspective, is there anything out there you like?
That's what I was just going to get to. I know that on Friday night when we were talking on the show, there was one that I did like. I guess I like it less now because of Will Byron, but I felt like pretty good about Blaney and Hamlin over Reddick and Byron, but I feel less good about that now. Looking at these groups, Kurt Busch. Oh yeah, I like Kurt Busch and Chris Bell in that group, but I worry a little bit about Alex Bowman.
Right.
Let me check other sites. Did you see any groups that you liked?
No. Like we talked the other night, they've taken the value out of the groups because at the beginning of the year you could get some drivers at plus 300. Now every one of them is under plus 300. I think they're competitive as far as how they have them set up. So for me, it's just going to be those head-to-head matchups.
Yeah, that probably for me too, because there's nothing in the manufacturer at all, like top Ford, top Chevy. There's nothing that you can really get on, and at least that'll give us a little bit of action going into the show when we start looking to pick off the winners on the live show, which everybody can watch for free, 6 p.m. on the Run Pure Bets YouTube channel.
And I really like if you can find a book that allows it. I really would like to parlay all four of those head to heads because I would imagine you could get a good number.
You're right. It was DK. So there has to be a reason why this week they're not allowing it. I don't know what that reason is, but
you might want to book it in because I guess they're listening to us because Chase Elliott just went to minus 105 against Marty, and he was plus 100.
If you were going to listen to a show, this would be the one. All right, boys, we're out of here. We just gave you 4 plays, those 4 matchups. Coop likes, I like. And aside from that, we're going to roll into 6 o'clock with the live show, and we're going to try to do what we do every week. We got the 9-1 winner yesterday. Try to get another winner today. And that's it, Coop. Anything else for the people?
No. Let's have some fun, and I think patience is the key tonight.
Agreed. Buckle in if you're coming to hang out tonight. The race starts at 6. Probably not going to be over till 11:30 or midnight. And for the first half of the race, probably Coop and I are going to be just shooting the shit because there's going to be a lot of watching until we start to get down on what we like. But we'll see you at 6 o'clock. It'll be me, Coop, and the boys. Aside from that, rewind the tape. We gave you 4 matchups we like. Those are all going on the sheet. And that's it. We'll see you out 6. Regardless of what you bet, I hope your action runs pure this weekend, even though it's almost over today, Sunday. Aside from that, we'll see you in a bit. Later.